Okay, so as I have another video uploading, I'm not sure when I'm gonna post this, but I was sitting here. I'm not sitting. I am sitting. I'm on a bike, but I'm here thinking about things. I was watching a video about like psychic abilities and whatnot, and I specifically started to attempt to psychically communicate with a specific ex of mine. That was really pleasant. Like, it was nothing but pleasant memories, really. Like, sure, we had our conflicts, but once again, it was mostly pleasant, as far as I'm aware. But I was like doing that, and I felt immediately like a sort of resistance, a sort of like, I don't want you to be in my energy. And I'm like, interesting. And aside from that, I feel like when it comes to like magic and like psychic energy and things of the unseen nature, we do run into the territory often in public discourse of consent and boundaries and privacy and respect, etc., etc. And I think these are very important conversations to have when learning about this stuff. But I think another important part about all of this is that we have free will. And just as well, one way to look at these abilities is as a way to make navigating life easier. Another way to look at it is as a way to, deliver messages that other people aren't able to hear, or, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't go out of my way, unless it's necessary for like what I'm talking about, to say or like label myself as a master manifester or master alchemizer or whatever. But sometimes I do be sitting and I do be thinking. And it's just crazy because I've had a lot of interesting situations happen in my life. A lot of situations where I honestly probably should have died. And so on and so forth. And all I ever do is like make something out of it, And it's like, my advice to baby witches is to focus on your own energy first. Like, if I had somebody telling me, because I don't know, to some degree, I did kind of plunge into reading for others and like doing readings, etc., etc. Not saying that I skipped the inner work, because baby, I've been doing this all my fucking life, honestly. Like, and when I say inner work, I mean a lot of things, but specifically, I mean, oh my god, that dog was so loud. Specifically, I mean like asking myself deeper questions and like trying to understand the world around me and myself within it, etc., etc. That's what I mean by the inner work. I've been doing this since I was little. Like, I knew I was gay and atheist before I graduated high school, and so, and I guess nowadays that's not really a unique experience, because most people are learning themselves pretty early. We're in the age of information, so it's pretty easy to learn about oneself in this current day and age. But once again, I will urge you to go within and make sure that you are tending to your own energy before you start extending to others. Or you could dive into it and learn for yourself, like, what you need to know. Like, I'm just simply here as a suggestion, as a reminder that safety is a thing. Sorry, I had to scratch. We live in a very interesting world. And we could talk about duality, we could talk about, you can't have the good without the bad, but we could also talk about the ways in which this reality has been manipulated and warped and twisted to be way denser than it should be. We could argue that. We could argue polarity. We could talk about this for some time. Sure. But what I think I know, what I feel in my heart of hearts, as I work on my spirituality, as I work on my psychic energy, excuse my confirmation verb, what I do know in my heart of hearts is that love is one of the most powerful things, if not the most powerful thing, that exists for us as humans. And when you truly tap into that, you... Hold on. There's cars passing by. Why did you honk at me? I don't know why you honked. But, okay, I'm gonna continue on my bike ride. Okay, what was I saying? When you tap into the energy of love, when you tap into unconditional love, and when I say love, I mean genuine love. Like, not that, like, fake, I'll say I love you just for the sake of it. Like, no, I mean, like, genuinely finding it in your heart to, like, love others. And obviously, once again, start with yourself. Like, learn to love yourself before you start trying to love other people intimately, because it will save you so much unnecessary heartache. Like, you'll still experience these feelings, but you won't be super tied to someone. You know, like when we get into relationships and we like try to mingle our energies with other people like that, you know? And oh my goodness, there was a bug in my face. I don't know if you saw it. But another thing, as I think about like psychic energy and like magic and stuff like that, I start to think about, I did mention boundaries already, but boundaries is a huge thing. Like making sure that you are not giving too much of yourself, especially without consent. And I've been guilty of this. I've been guilty of giving too much of myself. And I don't, unless there's like blatant disrespect, unless there's like obvious like spitting in the face, I don't build resentment. I give freely, you know. But what I will say is that reciprocity is a beautiful thing, and appreciation is a beautiful thing, if nothing else. And if you're going to use your supernatural abilities or your God-given talents, etc., for other people, make sure that, first of all, you're doing it with consent, and secondly, that you are getting something in return. Not necessarily money or anything like that, but just like there's like an equal flow of energy. Like if I do something for you, at the least, you could say thank you. You know? And I feel like we're not all raised the same, so that's understandable. But like some people genuinely don't understand this, and it's crazy to me. Like the way that I witness people exist in the world and just like refrain from gratitude, like it's wild to me. Like, also I'm gonna pause because I'm passing by some humans. And there's a dog barking. But yeah, no, I've mentioned it in previous videos and I'm starting to talk about it more. It might be changing soon because I don't really feel called to stay here for too long. I don't know. Pray for me, guys. But the place I'm staying there rent free, right? And of course there's like stipulations or whatever. I don't know. It's not even that rigid, but I get to stay there rent free, and I get dinner made for me every night. You know, and I make it a point to say thank you whenever I receive that or anything, you know. And I've witnessed people just be like, gimme, awesome. No sort of appreciation, no sort of gratitude. And it's like, wow. And I don't know. There's another person there who does pay rent, and he also gets dinner made for him because I guess they've known each other for so long. But once again, I've never seen him say thank you. Like, that's not a thing that comes out of his mouth. Neither does sorry, as far as I'm aware. And low-key, I have a crush on this person, so I'm talking about this person. But like, thankfully I have the ability to like objectively look at a person despite how I feel about them, because I think he's very attractive. I told him this to his face. And I mean, I think he did say thanks then. I don't know. But it was just kind of like, whatever. And oh my God, there's a dead squirrel. Its brains are all over the ground. I don't know. It just really grinds my gears. Also, there's a boogie. Oh my God, I could have just did that. That's gross. It really grinds my gears. That was disgusting. I hated that. When people aren't appreciative, when people don't give gratitude. And if we could translate this to the main message of the video, like, baby witches, please practice gratitude. Like, genuine gratitude. Like, when you're starting to manifest, when you're starting to work with the universe, be grateful. Don't be a bitch out here. Excuse my language. I don't like using that word. But don't be a person out here. Don't be a witch out here, like, greedily taking advantage of the greater forces without giving so much as a thank you, because yes, you are entitled to whatever it is that you want and work for. Sure, yeah, but I don't know, there's just like a certain level of pettiness I feel like that comes with a lack of appreciation. Like, a lot of people use ungratefulness as like a weapon against others, but it is really a thing. Like, when someone is truly ungrateful, it is a nasty energy, like, and I want to believe that the divine loves all, and the divine wants everybody to like be free of parasitic attachments, etc., etc. I don't know, but I don't know, like, I'm kind of being told in a way that, like, when you choose ungratefulness, when you choose, like, that sort of energy, that's one of the many things that we can choose to stay in alignment with parasitic energies, And I could talk about parasitic energies being at the place that I'm living at, like, I purposely wanted to like exercise more and like get on the bike more, like generally, but the biggest reason why I'm on the bike right now is because I just had to get out of the house. One of the dogs was just doing the most. I feel like he's close to dying, but I didn't say that. And just generally, I was just like, no, I need to like get up and move. And another rule of thumb, baby witches and manifestors, baby deities, however you want to claim yourself, I don't know. I think it's really important for reciprocity when we think about the idea of energy not being destroyed or created. Like, you don't want to give all your energy away to someone or something knowing that it's not going to give back to you in some way. Like, we could talk about creative projects and talk about it in that sort of esoteric way, and talk about, like, maybe you're a singer, songwriter, whatever, and I'm also projecting because I'm a songwriter, but you want to create a song and you have a specific vision in mind and you put all this energy into it, and maybe you're not at the level where you get all the attention that you would desire, right? But to some degree, that should be fulfilling you. If it doesn't fulfill you, why are you doing it? You didn't have to do it. It's not like somebody had a gun to your head. And maybe somebody did have a gun to your head. I don't know. But why was he staring at me like that? Oh my goodness. I passed the dude. The way he looked at me, I was like, whoa. He had shades on too. Although people who wear shades and like, I don't know, it's a superpower because like eye contact is very powerful. This is just coming through, but like I was just thinking about somebody specific, the guy that I have a crush on. Sometimes he wears shades when I interact with him outside or just in general. I don't know, but like people who wear sunglasses, those are dangerous people. Like whether you're inside or not, like to cut off that line of communication is crazy work. And like I always feel guilty about it. I don't know. I feel like because I just have a thing about my energy. I'm turning around, by the way. I feel like I also know different lighting, better lighting. I feel like I have an energy, excuse me, where people just kind of demand of me. They demand my energy, either on a conscious level or a subconscious level. Like, I shit you not. Like, I've literally had people, like, on some level begging to get a reaction out of me or begging to get something out of me, you know, and it's crazy. I rarely talk about, I feel like I've been talking about it more, so I can't really say that anymore, but I don't really love talking about it in the lens of like the chosen one. I don't like using that phrase, but it is a sort of chosen one energy, like an anointment, if you will. When you get closer to the divine, when you get closer to your higher power, to your divinity, you embody this energy that either attracts or repels, you know? There's usually no in between. It's usually people hate you or people love you and are obsessed with you. And it depends on their own wounding. It depends on where they are at. And unfortunately, unfortunately for them, and sometimes me, but fortunately for me, I've evolved my consciousness to a place where I am beyond a lot of the people around me. Naturally, like, we could also talk about my birth chart, because I learned something that stuck with me last year. I think it was last year, I don't know. But basically, where your ascendant is, if you go to the opposite, there's a point in the chart that talks about like how you attract people or what kind of people you attract. And for me, it's Aries at that spot because I'm a Libra ascendant, you know. And you know, I'm thinking about Beyonce too, and I feel like that's probably why she even has such a big fan base, low key. Like, not saying that she isn't deserving of it or anything like that, but because that placement often denotes, you know, Aries is a simple energy. It denotes people of simple mind being attracted to you. And sorry, I had to scratch again. Oops. And in most of my life, that's kind of what I get. I kind of get simple-minded people. Like, not to bash anybody that I'm staying with, but for the most part, that's kind of like the people that I'm staying with. And like, even when I find somebody who's like pretty up there, I usually find that like they're still pretty simple by most standards. They're still pretty carnal by most standards. And when I say carnal, I just mean like living out of survival needs, living out of, you know, carnal desires like sex, fuck, violence, pleasure, etc., instead of like the heart and selflessness and love, etc. But I don't know, we could argue also that one is not better than the other, whatever. But that is a very intense debate because God is love. And also, personally, I have the word love in my last name. So I feel like in that regard, I kind of just know a lot about the idea of love. But then again, maybe not. I'm always open to being wrong. And that's another thing, baby witches. I need you to not have a problem. I need you to develop a tolerance to being incorrect. Because that is how you learn and that is how you grow. Now, of course, sorry, I'm like transitioning. I'm trying to get back on the bike. There was traffic. I had to get off. Because also I don't really have the best brakes anymore, so that's definitely an issue. But yeah, be open to being wrong. Like, something I used to say a lot, and I still sometimes say, is I could be wrong. I kind of like stop saying it so much, but you know, just as a preface, I could be wrong before I say this, but I think that your dead husband is trying to reach out to you. You know, but yeah, if you're not open to being wrong, it's gonna be really hard for you to actually learn anything, you know. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. You should definitely leave a comment if this was helpful. The dead squirrel is back. Oh my goodness. Actually, I think there were 2 dead squirrels. I saw a dead squirrel up ahead. But I'm going to stop recording here, so you won't get to see my reaction to that. Hope you have a nice one. Stay blessed. Stay beautiful. Stay hydrated. Bye.